All right, Ravens. They got y'all with the trap last time. Don't let it happen again. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. See, I just got a notification. Lamar Jackson is questionable. Oh, they really setting up the trap, ain't they?
Welcome in to the Instant Classic Wrestling Podcast, the only podcast that is always, I mean always, he means always, they mean always, you mean always, she means always, an instant classic.
Danny Dunn! Hi, JJJ.
We will see you on the flippity dippity. Oh yeah.
Now, I got this brand new setup. And I ain't even plugged the mic in to start the show. See, I've been sitting here setting this stuff up, trying it out, seeing what it's like, and y'all ain't even get to see it. I kind of like having a microphone in the shot like this. I think it's kind of cool. But Ravens, Bears preview. If you don't know, I did one on Rabbit Jones's The Third Perspective podcast. His Bears reality. No, it's Rabbit's reality, where he talks about the Bears. I think that's on Tuesdays, if I'm not mistaken. But honestly, coming into this one, and of course, just so you know, just for those who don't know, I will be Rabbit's going to join me for the Ravens recap tomorrow after the game. Come. So I did the preview on his channel. He did his, and he's going to do his recap on my channel. But definitely should be fun. I'm feeling coming into this game. Appreciate it, real. I'm feeling coming into this game like it could be another trap game, right? And I said it in the intro, but I feel like it could be another trap game, and it really could. My biggest thing is don't fall for the trap. But Lamar Jackson is dealing with some sort of non-related COVID illness, non-COVID related illness, easy for me to say. So that has him questionable for the game. Could be an issue, right? Should you still take care of business against the Bears? Probably. Rabbit laughed at me when I said this should be a blowout. But I wouldn't pick a blowout because this is the Ravens in 2021 where blowouts don't happen, okay? But at the same time, I think it could be a blowout. But let's jump into how I feel in terms of this game. By the way, DJ here from the Instant Classic Wrestling Podcast. If you want any sort of wrestling videos, we do them. We're going to do a watch along here in just a little bit. If you're watching this live here in just a little bit, but if you're not, 9 p.m. Eastern on Saturday. So if you watch this later, it's already up for you to see. Going into this game, the first thing, I'm gonna hold the offense off, especially considering we don't know if Lamar is playing. That changes the offense a little bit, even though Tyler Huntley is very athletic and has proven himself as a pretty decent backup quarterback. But defensively, don't let Justin Fields hit you with the big plays. That's it. Like even last week against the Dolphins, right? Last week against the Dolphins, in terms of from a defensive perspective, the defense held it down, right? Lamar said that. I think some other people in the presser said that. The defense held it down for like 90% of the time. But the issue was when they weren't playing well, it wasn't like the Dolphins were like scratching and clawing and by nickel and diming you down the field. No, they were hitting 20, 25, 30, 40-yard plays to get down the field, to get in positions to score. That can't happen, right? That's the biggest thing. And I think the Ravens can't overlook this game because they already overlooked the Dolphins game. And the issue with that is you got a tough schedule coming up. They still got the Packers on the schedule. They still got the Rams on the schedule, two very good NFC teams. And the part of the schedule where they really need to focus on is the fact that they have pretty much all of their AFC North games coming up. They've only played one AFC North team, and they didn't fare well against the Bengals when they played them. So, yes, not to overlook this game. They need to win this game. I'm not going to say this is a must-win game or anything like that. Like, the season's not over if they don't win it. But, go ahead and take care of business in Chicago, right? Go ahead and take care of business. So then when you get to these AFC North games, you already know, okay, we can take care of business, but now it's another business trip, but it's going to be a little bit more competitive one. I think with the AFC North, those games, those stretch of games where they got, because I think they got the Browns, the Steelers, and then the Browns back to back like that. That's going to be tough, especially that second Browns game, more so than the first one, because the Steelers game is always a hard hitting affair. So that's my biggest thing coming in. Like, take care of business in this game. Defense, step back a little bit, maybe play a little bit more conservative. I also think, like, once again, I talk about this a lot with Wink, situationally blitz, right? I think it was Engraven who had mentioned this on one of his videos. He's like, and it may have been one of the little Twitter chats. I don't know if y'all seen that. It's kind of cool. They have the little, it's like a chat room almost where, like, people kind of just can sit down and have a discussion, or stand up or run around, whatever they're doing. You don't know what they're doing. You can't see them. Can have a discussion on Twitter. It's kind of cool to listen into or join in, and kind of fun. But that's kind of cool. So, like, they were talking, I think it was in that discussion, and they were kind of talking about how, like, this defense got to be better. This defense just the way to make this defense better is probably going to be coaching, because you got guys who really just haven't been there before. Tavon Young, is the first season he's been healthy for most, if not, hopefully we're hoping for all of the season, right? You got a brand new free safety out there roaming around. You got Chuck Clark being put in situations he's not used to being put in, which is the main, cover guy deep, right? You got corners who aren't used to being on the field. Like we said before, Tavon Young, Anthony Averett is another one. Chris Westry is out there too. You got these guys who aren't used to being put in these positions because Jimmy Smith can't stay healthy, unfortunately. And, of course, the injury to Marcus Peters, and then the injury to Sean Elliott too, opens up chances for everybody else. But I think you also got to be able, as a coach, to showcase what they can do, right? You're not going to throw, even though I think they do from time to time, but you're not going to throw, for example, let's take it back to the offensive end. You're not going to throw a jump ball to Hollywood Brown because Hollywood Brown is like 6 foot tall, right? Like, why would you do that, right? He's not going to have this overarching advantage over anybody else. So that's, like, in terms of height, speed. Yes, you're going to throw the go route to him, but are you going to throw, the kind of 50-50 ball to him? No, even though they do from time to time. But I digress. So for me, I think this got to be a business trip, right? You got to look at last week, what you did wrong last week. And, we talked about it before. Defensively, just stop giving up big plays. If you can figure out a way to stop giving up big plays, do it, right? And I know that's easier said than done. It's easy for me to sit here and say it, but it's like, sit down and figure out, what are we doing wrong? Are we putting people in the wrong positions? Are we being too aggressive, right? Instead of being aggressive all the time, can we maybe situationally blitz? Like, maybe it's a big third down. We might want to sit, we might want to blitz when it's like goal to go. Of course, you can blitz whenever, because they can't get over the top of you. Give the right people help, stuff like that. Like, that's what needs to happen, because the tackling issue is done. It's over with. They fixed that. But now it's like, it's a coverage issue now. So defensively, no big plays, please. Thanks. No big plays. If you quit giving up big plays, you'll probably end up at least in middle of the pack when it comes to defensively. A lot of the plays that people have given up have been just the easy, deep play down the field where, you haven't tackled or you've blown a coverage or whatever. It's been terrible. Offensively, get going fast. I don't care who's their quarterback, right? I don't care who's their quarterback tomorrow. If Lamar for some reason can't play because of his illness and it's that bad, then even with Tyler Huntley, this is an even better chance to showcase Tyler Huntley and say, all right, Tyler Huntley, we're going to put you in a position to win this game, right? We're going to give you maybe a little bit more, some easy throws to make. Let's throw a screen play when it makes sense, right? Let's run the ball when it makes sense. Let's do an outside handoff when it makes sense. And another thing that I've been seeing around the Ravens community of people who talk about the Ravens on YouTube and Facebook and social media and all that, is Devin Duvernay. Utilize Devin Duvernay, right? You don't want to utilize Tyson Williams for whatever reason. I'm going to say it till I can't say it no more. For whatever reason, they won't utilize the rusher that has the best average on the team. But whatever, utilize Devin Duvernay, right? That's you can, line him up, use him like who is it? Is it the Bears? I don't think he's on the Bears no more. I can't remember what team Cordell Patterson is on now because he's played for a bunch of them. But like you use him like him or like a Ty Montgomery type guy too. Like I think he could honestly do better Ty Montgomery things than Ty Montgomery could, right? So use him as a Ty Montgomery type guy, as a Cordell Patterson type guy where you can line him up in different places and you gonna, get some mismatches. That's where I think the Ravens are missing a little bit with some of the injuries, inserting people in certain areas where you wouldn't normally be able to insert them in. Like Devin Duvernay, I'm sure doesn't want to play running back all the time, but in some of these situations where you can get him matched up on a linebacker, why wouldn't you do that? Especially when you got injuries on the field, especially when it's third down or it's second down and you want to maybe take a shot, but you need a good underneath guy to go to. It's perfect. Like it's the perfect situation. But I think they got to go in and handle business because the tough part about the rest of the Ravens schedule is just that. It's tough, right? Once again, I'll say it, once more, you got the Rams coming up later on in the season. You got the Packers coming up later on in the season. You got the Bengals coming back up later on in the season, and you know what they did to you. You got the Steelers twice. You got the Browns in between that. No, actually, you got the Browns, Steelers. I mean, but you got both of those teams twice, right? Those are some big games that you got to win down the stretch. I'm not saying like don't worry about the NFC teams. This one you need to take care of the business and get it done. But some of these other NFC games are going to pale in comparison, I think, and of course unless you're going for the number one seed later on in the year, but they're going to pale in comparison to the AFC North, right? They're going to pale in comparison to these AFC North games that are going to stack up on you. I said it before, and I firmly believe it. The Ravens have the potential to beat anyone, right? They literally have the potential to beat anyone. Now, it's kind of up to them if they're going to show up and play. I want to see, especially in this second half-ish, it's kind of a little past half, but you know what I mean, second half-ish of the season, right? I want to see them change some things up, do some things differently. That's both offensively and defensively, but I want to see the offense get going better than they have in the past. They've already shown that the offense can play. I mean, the crazy part is the offense is still like top 10 in the league overall. I don't know right off, but I know rushing their top five. I know rushing their top 10, and they're also top 10 when it comes to passing. So the fact that you've done most of that probably in the second half of the games this season, just imagine where you would be if you could get going earlier in the game and you didn't put yourself behind the 8 ball. That's just me. But anyway, that's pretty much going to do it for the preview. I think I gave a score prediction over there on the Third Perspective podcast, which you can find anywhere that you can find the Instant Classic Wrestling podcast. So Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all those great avenues, Anchor and all them. I said 31-28. That was my prediction. I was like 31-28. For me, I hope it's a blowout, right? I've said that multiple times this year too and been wrong about it, but I hope it's a blowout, right? I hope they go in there, they play the best football they've ever played, and they take care of business against the Bears, right? They showcase that they learned from the Dolphins game to not only not fall into the trap, but also, they've learned some things from all the other games, the bits and pieces of these other games where they've struggled, right? Get started early. Don't let them get big plays, and I think they'll be fine. I want to see the same Ravens that I saw against the Chargers game. And the crazy part was the Chargers game was a good game from offense, defense, and special teams, but they still could have played better, is what's hilarious. So if they could get back to that version of the Ravens and then top that version, bing, bang, boom. But as always, hope you guys enjoyed. And like I said, Ravens recaps coming up after the game on Sunday. So we'll be sure to be tuned in to that. If you're interested, featuring Rabbit Jones from the Third Perspective podcast, like I said, on Facebook. I think they're on YouTube sometimes, if I'm not mistaken. Rail can help me out. But I know they go live on Facebook and on all the streaming platforms as well. So be sure to check them out as well. They talk about literally everything you could think of. But hope you guys enjoyed. Like I said, the watch along is coming up too. If you're watching this live or if you watch this before we get to the watch along, feel free. We're watching Survivor Series 1996, getting ready for The Rock's debut, so that'll be fun. And of course, we'll probably do some sort of review on Survivor Series 2 for our wrestling fans out there. You can also go back and watch our review on the releases or our response to the releases. Be sure to listen to that as well if you are interested. But until next time, watch along tonight. Ravens recaps coming up on Sunday, so should be fun. Should be a good week. Should be fun. It's about to get interesting. This season definitely is about to get interesting. I'm gonna take 1 second to look at the Ravens schedule one more time because I kind of just want to see I know the teams on it. I just don't really know the order, and I'm trying to think if the Browns are next week, and I think they are. So that's when. So really, this is the game, and it sucks that you couldn't take care of business on the Dolphins game because this Browns game, the Browns game next week is going to be tough, and then you got the Steelers, then you got the Browns, right? So that's tough. That's tough right there. That's a tough stretch to figure out a way. Then you got the Packers, then you got the Bengals right after that, then you got the Rams, then you got the Steelers to end the season. So there's so many different things. Are they not giving Ravens Steelers one Sunday night game? What the heck is wrong with the scheduling committee? What the heck is going on out here? They gave us a 4:25 game instead of all them Sunday night football, them terrible Sunday night football games they giving the Steelers this year, and they can't give us Steelers Ravens. What the heck is wrong with them people? Anyway, I'm done. Hope you guys enjoy it as always. Also, you want to start a podcast? You need podcast help? Need video production help? Let me know, bioproductions.com. Check me out. And I will definitely help you out in whatever way you need to be helped. As always, we'll see you guys on the next one. Until next time.